Hello, everybody. Life doesn't have to be ugly. I do not think in a while I have done anything, and I have done all sorts of things over the past couple of months. I don't think I've done anything that I genuinely think is ugly. I don't hate anything that I do because I have genuinely found a way to change my perspective on everything, all the things that I like and I dislike, in order to make them more appealing to me. And that is through romanticization of said things. Like, I'm not just doing this video right now. I'm doing this video and having some really delicious cherries. I just think that romanticization is a practice. It's a method, and it's something that you have to continuously implement into your life. When you do it for so long, then it just becomes second nature to you. So I'm just going to be talking about some of those methods today in this video on how to make your life more beautiful, more appealing, and it can be the silliest things, really. I've had quite a few comments on my channel asking me advice on how to romanticize things that are not so fun. Things that aren't like typically romanticized, you know, like going to the gym or running errands or going to work if you're in a certain occupation. And I understand the difficulty with being able to have fun or to be able to find certain things in this world beautiful, because the world is filled with ugliness. But it is your mind that is the thing that you need to cultivate in order to see things in a new light, in a beautiful way. So I'm gonna just go into this and talk about some of the methods that I have implemented over time that I think that do me good, that are effective. So first things first, and I'm sure you've heard this in probably every video about romanticization of things like chores or errands or just things that you just generally don't like to do. It's never what you do, ever. It is always how you do it. The how of your life is something that you need to change. The how in anything that you do is going to be stylization. For beauty and for art, to make life into beauty and art, you have to stylize the things that you do. Stylization is poetry. So I can have two examples here for something like this. The first one would be like peeling an orange, right? You can get an orange from the grocery store or the farmer's market or something, and you can just take it home and you can put it on this ugly plastic cutting board from like Target or something. Or you can go out and get maybe like a wood cutting board. This I'm going to talk about this later, but like it has a lot to do with the objects that you surround yourself with every day and the implements that you use, your utilitarian objects. I'm going to get into that, but yeah, change your utilitarian objects into more beautiful things. Things do not just have to be functional, they can be ornamental as well. But instead of, let's say, just taking a huge kitchen knife and just cutting it up and being really, I guess, quick about it and careless maybe, and you're just trying to get the rind off and you're trying to eat this orange, instead, there is actually a method that you can do that's actually quite beautiful, and it's just the corkscrew. You just peel it with a knife. It takes a little bit longer, but it corkscrews the rind off of the orange, and it's quite fun to do, and it's beautiful to look at. That's an example of method. It's all about how you do it. I would say that peeling an orange, I used to live in a place where I had an orange tree that grew in my backyard, and I can't tell you how wonderful it is to be able to pick the orange, and then I learned to do that corkscrew cutting method of the rind with a knife, and it was just so much more enjoyable. I'd just sit down and do it. I'd look out the window and I would just kind of zone out for a minute, and I just thought that was a beautiful way to do it, and I enjoyed the orange more, and it wasn't just me cutting it up and just forcing it down my throat. That's one of those examples of style, or how you do something changes the way that you view the object. Another way is, I was on my day off, and I live in a urban area, and I was walking on the sidewalk and I was complaining, I was like, oh, there's just like so much ugliness There's these just like old dilapidated like brick cubic buildings everywhere, and the sidewalks are uneven, and I'm like tripping all over the place. And then one day, it's as if I had never seen this before in my life. I just look to my left, and all this time there's just this traffic island that is in between. It's two roads. One is going one way and one is going the other, and there is a grassy traffic island in the center of these. And it's a fairly large amount of distance between the two roads, and it's lined with trees, and at this point there was dandelions popping up everywhere, and it was beautiful. And I just thought to myself, holy shit, I can just change where I walk, and I can walk on this grassy traffic island instead of on the sidewalk. And I'll tell you, it changed everything. Like, my day was so much more enjoyable. That walk was so much more enjoyable. Instead of looking at this hideous like sidewalk with trash and litter everywhere, I felt like I was a forest nymph or something. I was just walking on the traffic island where there were trees and shade and flowers and grass. The grass was soft. It was just, it made me not want to rush to get to my destination. And it changed everything. A traffic island, like just grass and flowers and stuff. Just, these are everywhere in urban areas, but we like choose to ignore them because we're so used to, let's say, walking to our work, and we choose the easiest way to get there. And we don't realize that the more beautiful option, the one that can make your day better, is right there in your periphery, and you're ignoring it and you don't think about it. So it really is about changing perspective. It's about changing the style of how you do something. It's not about what you do, it's about how you do it. Life can be poetry. The simple, silly things can be poetry, okay? Life is cool. So this brings me to my second point. So I was just talking about how the cutting board, right? For the orange. What you use, what you handle, the objects that you come into contact with every day affect you. Ugliness is a disease, okay? And ugliness is hurting you. Function is hurting you. The form of function is hurting you. Convenience-oriented approaches are hurting you. This is where we start. Convenience is a plague all on its own. But yes, the things that you come into contact with make the method more enjoyable, right? So these are the accessories to the method. This is, instead of putting your cherry pits, just spitting them out into the garbage, I have this like little tulip shaped teacup that I put them in. Instead of me putting my cherries, this is one of like eating cherries like right out of the bag. This is a huge pet peeve, and something for myself, something that I really try to not do is to, especially when I'm eating, is to eat anything out of the container it came in. Don't do that. Don't eat your leftovers right out of the takeout container. Give yourself some respect. Honor yourself. Sit down at a table. Plate your food. Plate your food. Sit down and enjoy your meal. Whatever you're consuming, okay? Don't drink your beverage right out of the container that it came in. You know, don't drink we're going back to oranges. Don't drink your orange juice right out of the carton. Pour it into a receptacle. Pour it into a beautiful glass. This is ritualism. This is how you take an ordinary, bare, raw thing and you turn it into something sacred, and you turn it into something beautiful. This is so important. Get rid of your ugly things so that whenever you do something as simple as eating, it doesn't just have to be eating. It doesn't just have to be this basic instinct where you consume food so that you get the nutrition out of it and then you move on with your day. Nothing has to be like that anymore. It really doesn't. This mentality will change everything. Really, ritualize your life. And rituals, ceremonies are always accompanied by beautiful objects. Always. Spend the money on something nice that'll last you a long time, or just, that's the thing, like, stuff doesn't have to cost a lot of money. Beauty is not a luxury. Go to a thrift store. If you don't have the money, spend the time looking for something you really like that's cheap. I've found, at this point, I think we've all found wonderful, well-made, beautiful goods just from taking the time to roam around a thrift store, to online shop, whatever. So do yourself a favor and get something that you think is really beautiful. Spend the money on it, spend the time to find something, buy it cheaply if that's the case, if that's the situation. You will find that your life is romanticized. It's more beautiful. Romanticization, it is working off of the bare minimum to make it more than just that. Because life is so much more enjoyable than just eating, sleeping, going to the bathroom, having sex, and moving through life just to survive and procreate. We're so much more than that. Things can be excessive, extra, superfluous, unnecessary. And that's that beautiful, that unnecessary space. That's where the beauty comes in. We don't have to make things beautiful, but we sure as hell are a lot happier when we do. Okay? Man, these are good. And on that note, especially when it comes to beautiful things, buying nice things, it does not surprise me that a culture that wears yoga pants for quite literally every occasion. I mean, I see so many pairs of yoga pants a day, and the outfits that people wear to go about their daily life, it just makes me sad because, like I said, I want you guys to have respect for yourself, for your goddamn life. So when it comes to a method, how you come into this method, how you present yourself to a situation matters a lot. So dress well, dress expressively, dress in a way that makes you happy. The bare minimum is wearing something comfortable. You can be comfortable and luxurious and fashionable and glamorous too, but put in the effort into your appearance. Come correct to your life, to this errand that you're running. Doesn't matter what it is. You will find me, if you were to ever see me out in the wild, there is no way in hell you're gonna see me in yoga pants or in some just base outfit. I consider every single outfit that I wear every single day, no matter what I'm doing. I make outfit changes for errands. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter what it is, okay? The problem here is this mentality that you are coming towards this errand or this thing that you don't like, your job or whatever, and you are saying, I have to look a certain way, or I'm just trying to get through it, so you don't give yourself the respect, right? I'm just running errands, so I'm just going to throw this on. No! You're running errands, so you should put something nice on. It's one thing if you have a job where you have to wear a uniform, and I will discuss this in a second. But yeah, if this is something that doesn't require a uniform, doesn't require certain clothing to protect you, or garments that you like need to wear for safety or whatever, if you can dress well, doesn't matter what you're doing, no matter how unsavory the thing is, how annoying, how ugly the thing is, come to it like you would go to a ceremony, like you would go to church. That's how I like to do it. And be a character, dress up, change multiple times a day, have fun with it. Have fun. The things that you're doing don't have to be something you have to get out of the way. They can be enjoyable. So this leads me, because I know I myself have been in situations where I've had to wear a uniform, or I've had to have a job that I do not think is very beautiful. So this is where we get to the point where escapism is your best friend. Whenever I was working at my one job, I was like 5 things. I was a server, bartender, busser, I was all kinds of things. Gross. I felt gross, right? I actually have a video where I talk about this. It's I have no tolerance for reality. What I chose to do was I chose to split my personality. In instances where you have no choice, your back is against the wall, you don't know what to do, and you feel like you can't express yourself, or you feel that you cannot access beauty in the situation. Escapism is going to be your best friend. I told myself I am who I am over here at work, at this place I don't like, and when I'm not there, that's the real person. That's the person you're talking to. This person over here that's doing all this, the real world shit, as I think I called it, that person doesn't exist. That's a copy of me that does that stuff, right? And then the real world person is this alternate persona. That's how I chose to do it. I still try to dress my best and stuff at this job, but you know, when you're covered in like 3 types of food, you just gotta dissociate. I say that jokingly, but that's the best way I could do it at the time. So yes, escapism is gonna be your best friend with that. Just deny. And really, this makes you absolutely savor the moments of beauty that you do get to have. When you come home from that job, from that errand, whatever you feel that is ugly, okay, I'm just gonna say it simply like that, right? You are gonna come home and you are going to absolutely bask in the glory of whatever beautiful thing you're about to do next, because that beautiful thing is an escape from that ugly thing. There was one time at this job that I'm referencing, I was so stressed out. I had 2 panic attacks in one shift. It was awful. I felt gross, you know, it was just terrible. I came home, I took a shower, I exfoliated, I washed my hair, I put on a good outfit. It was like 1 a.m. I didn't care. I cleansed myself. I purified myself after that experience. Okay? I put on a nice niche movie or something, and I laid on my couch luxuriantly and pretended like that didn't exist. I came home and I said, this is my sanctum. This house is an escape from what I just had to deal with that completely like ruined me. And I'm in my territory now. I play by my rules now, and I'm going to literally just submerge myself in this. That's what I did that night. The trauma of that shift that day just made me come back to my life, the beautiful things this beautiful universe that I am in control of, and say, I'm so thankful that I have this. And I am that much more persistent in trying to make my life more like this. And I will do whatever I can to get out of that situation, to never have situations like that again, and to change the balance of my life, to have more of a percentage of beauty in my life. Because once you taste beauty like this, it's addictive. It becomes you enter a different stratum. You just make a decision one day, I can't live any other way. And you find a way. You find a way to change your circumstances. I think any person who has been brought up in circumstances that they did not favor, that hurt them, that traumatized them, they say, let's say beauty is their guide. Let's say it was art or whatever, ambition. And they say, I am going to do everything that I can to get what I want. That's what these moments do. And that leads me into, if you're stuck in these situations, right? You can't change your circumstances, right? This is when you go into boss level mode, okay? If you're in a situation that you can't change, use everything. Use every insult, every tear, every traumatic event. Save what you can that is valuable in those experiences. There is a lesson to be learned in everything. And whenever you are able to leave, whenever you are finally able to get your big break and leave and live the life that you want, you will be greater, stronger for it. Use your suffering. Use these moments of ugliness as your greatest master, your greatest teacher. There have been many positions in my life where I felt stuck, or I felt like I was in a position that just surrounded me with ugliness or whatever. And then when you're in it, you say, okay, what can I learn? How do I, if you are like me, if you choose to romanticize things in general, then when you are in bad situations, romanticism is a coping mechanism. So you use your pain in a way by like trying to find beauty in nothing, you know? Whenever I was at this one job, the beautiful thing, I guess, was that I was able to learn how to make cocktails, which is to me like an artisanal craft. And I thought it was cool that I was learning how to do that. And now at my own house and my new life, so to speak, I know how to make a damn good margarita, or I know how to make like a daiquiri, or I know how to do that now. And I can apply that knowledge from a situation. I can extract that little detail from a situation that otherwise made me very sad and upset. And now I can bring it into this new life and I can be richer for it. When I used to work at Nordstrom, for example, and I'll tell you, I hate retail jobs more than I hate the restaurant industry, because retail jobs, you literally just like stand around all day because nobody wants to talk to you, and then they tell you you're not doing anything. I hate those jobs. What a waste of my time. But I chose a specific job. I used to work in the collectors department because I love fine things, and collectors is designer clothing. And I romanticized this situation by, I was just surrounded by beautiful things all the time. I was like, if I may not be making very much money, I am just trying to get by, and but I work here. I walk on a marble floor every day. I get to wear my fine things, what I do have, and I get to be surrounded by these fine things, and I get to learn about these fine things. And now when I always knew about fashion, but like now when I go into the world, I feel that even though I hated this time at that specific job, I feel richer for the little bits of knowledge that I learned at the time, you know? I know where like the tailors are. Like I made connections in my department. I know where the tailors are in the city. I know where to get my shoes fixed, where to get my pants hemmed. I know about, the composition of fabrics. I know a little bit more about like how designers are changing their manufacturers. Like I just like know like little tidbits of knowledge like that. And I just feel smarter now. I learned a lot about people from jobs that I hated. I am still, but I'm fairly socially awkward. And I used these fairly like heavily social environments to work on that flaw that I had. When I was working at a restaurant, it was me and one other girl, and I had to talk to everyone. And I had to think on the spot all the time. I could not do that before. I was able to like develop wit and make jokes and like develop grace when it came to my speech. And that to me was priceless. Being able to walk up to a person I've never met before and joke with them and laugh with them and carry out a fluid conversation with them. That was something I had wanted to do for a long time, but just never been in the environment for it. So use your suffering. Gain everything that you possibly can out of a situation that you don't like. A situation that is ugly, there is always some kind of detail that you can hide in. Some detail that is your island in the midst of a sea, a tumultuous sea. There's always something for you to hold on to. Always. And you'll find it. That's the thing. Maybe I just have to tell you that that's what you have to do. But like, I think if you are a person that sees beauty in the way that I do, in the way that all my subscribers do, like, I think that you will do this naturally, because I think it happens that way. We, as a society, as human beings, as sentient human beings now, cultivated human beings. Okay, that's all we do. You guys know my Pallian thesis on the world is like all we're doing is like running away from nature, from this cruelty, this chaos that is surrounding us all the time. And look what we've done with that, you know? We've created art, architecture, literature, really good food, beautiful plates. I mean, shit, we have beauty standards. Like, it's just interesting. You will find a way. There's always a way. You just have to be creative. You have to be creative. You have to be resourceful. Just like with anything. Like, I'm talking about romanticizing things that you don't like to do, things that you hate doing, as if it's like a survival guide. Because to me, that's how it feels. Every situation, I've been in many situations where I have felt like I didn't have a choice in the matter, and I felt like I was just plunged into darkness and melancholy and ugliness. And I created a lot during those time periods because I had to. You don't become an artist unless you have to. You don't romanticize things unless you have to, unless you feel willed to do those things, because it is survival. If you feel beauty the way that I do, the way that this community does, beauty is your life vest. Beauty is your safety net. And if all else fails, I'm going to use a quote from Clarice Lispector because I love her. This is from Near to the Wild Heart. Today's pain will be tomorrow's joy. Nothing escapes transfiguration. So if all else fails, really, just know that your memory, nostalgia, will blot away all that ugliness for you. Even our brain does that. There were so many times, long periods of time, where I was so sad and angry. But do you know what the things that I remember from those periods? I remember the sadness, vaguely, sure, like as a thin veil. But I mostly remember the good times, even if they were really few and far between. Your brain keeps what's valuable to it. Your brain doesn't want you, your body doesn't want you to remember pain like that. Keep what's good, keep what's valuable to you. Hold on to that. Let ugliness inspire you to action. Let it be your inspiration. If you feel that something is ugly, if you think that you don't like this errand, you don't like your job, whatever, if beauty matters to you a lot, you'll find a way. Make the changes, find solutions, make a better world for yourself because you deserve that. That's all I gotta say. I feel like I caught a wave with this video. Ugh. I hope you liked this video. I hope that these tips were helpful. They certainly were helpful to me, and they're tried and true. I'm sorry, everybody, that I pronounced Edie's name wrong. I'm genuinely so sorry. What a stupid mistake. Please do not forget to like and subscribe, comment your thoughts. If you guys are new here, welcome. Thank you for watching this video all the way through. This is a long one. I didn't intend it to be this long, but man, I had a lot to say. Yeah. I will see you guys next week. Au revoir.